My husband's female buddy lost at the drinking game and got dared to spill the most intimate thing she'd ever done with a guy. She suddenly shot me this wicked smirk. I jerked Lionel off. The entire room erupted. I clutched my 5-month pregnant belly as sharp contractions seized my abdomen. She acted all innocent, like she just remembered I was there, and shrugged. Oh, relax, it was just right after you got knocked up and he was wasted. Poor little Lionel was rock hard. No need to thank me, Mrs. Hartman. Just some friendly help between buddies. Better than having him stick his dick in some random chick, right? Before she could finish, Lionel grabbed the cucumber and smacked Amari's hand with it. Cut it out, you little shit. Your pathetic handjob skills are nothing compared to my wife's. Amari caught the cucumber with a laugh and took a deliberate bite. Pretty damn close to the real thing. They cracked up together, creating this invisible wall that shut me out completely. Nobody looked at me. Nobody gave a damn that I existed. Here I am, 5 months pregnant with his kid, and I'm just some awkward piece of background that doesn't belong at his little party with his buddy. The game kept going. Lionel's turn to lose. The card. Make out with someone for 3 minutes. Only 2 women in the room, Amari and me. But everyone immediately started shoving Lionel toward Amari. It's just a fucking game. Only losers take this shit seriously. He was grinning, she was giggling, and everyone held up their phones, whooping and snapping photos. I snapped, grabbed my glass, and hurled it at the floor. Crack. Glass exploded everywhere. Screams erupted. In the dead silence, I slowly stood up, one hand on my aching back, voice ice cold. Want something more exciting? Let me help you out. I whipped out my phone and dialed 911.
Yeah, hi.
I need to report a sex party with public indecency. Lionel lunged for my phone. Kendall, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's a goddamn party game. I stared at his hand still wrapped around Amari's waist, and suddenly I laughed through tears. So, when our kid grows up, what's the plan, Lionel? Tell them Daddy couldn't keep his dick in his pants, and Mommy was just a dumb bitch who put up with it. Lionel's face went dark. He pulled poor little Amari behind him, his voice tight with rage. You're going too far. I told you, it's just a game. Well, if this is their game, I don't know how to play. I headed for the door. Lionel grabbed my wrist. My buddy threw this whole party to celebrate the baby, and you're gonna shit all over it.
Right.
His precious buddy again.
Slap.
I spun around and slapped him so hard my palm stung. Dead silence. Amari stepped up and grabbed Lionel by the neck, pulling him against her. Come on, baby boy, listen to Mama, and stop being stubborn. She put on this innocent act. Kendall, honey, Leo, and I have been tight since we were kids. We used to sleep but naked in the same bed. He doesn't even see me as a woman. You're getting worked up over nothing. Then she shoved him toward me. Now apologize to your pregnant wife. She's being hormonal enough as it is. Keep pushing her, and we'll all pay for it.
Boom.
Just like that, everyone's staring at me like I'm the crazy pregnant bitch ruining their fun. Lionel stood there, jaw clenched, refusing to budge. Amari whispered something in his ear, with a smug little smirk. He rolled his eyes, then gave me the most half-assed look. Fine. My bad. Happy now? I wanted to puke. I walked out without another word. I didn't expect Lionel to follow me out. The whole way to the parking lot, contractions kept hitting my belly in waves while he bitched at me nonstop. Did pregnancy fry your fucking brain? Amari's my buddy. You're seriously jealous of that? Why don't you just put a leash on me? You're suspicious of every goddamn person I talk to. Use your head. If we were really hooking up, would she announce it to everyone? Something in my chest just cracked. You're right. You're totally innocent. I'm just being a psycho bitch. I was trembling, screaming. I've been putting up with this bullshit for way too long. Every swallowed hurt came flooding back like a slap in the face. Lionel, how many times have you left me for your buddy? When I was in the ER with appendicitis, you were getting your nails done with her. When I was bleeding, trying not to lose our baby, you were at Dave and Buster's with her. Every single fucking time I needed you, you were off playing with your fucking girl buddy. Right up until tonight. Tears streamed down my face. She sits there bragging about jerking you off like it's nothing. You keep flirting with her like I don't exist. And when I finally snap and call 911, you don't defend me. You just scream that I'm losing my mind. That was the moment. Lionel, we're fucking done. Silence. Then I hear Lionel's voice, all gentle and caring. Don't worry, babe. I've got you. I'll protect you. I spun around. He had his headset on, gaming with Amari. The gaming and shouting lasted past midnight. I sat alone on the balcony, hands on my wildly kicking belly, and dialed my OB. I need to schedule a termination. Next morning, stabbing stomach pains jolted me awake. I stumbled out looking for Lionel. He was lounging on the couch, ankles crossed, smirking at his phone. Took me calling his name 4 times before he glanced up. Seeing how pale I looked, he blinked and helped me sit, absent-mindedly massaging my shoulder. Hey babe, can't hang today. Mr. Casey Wells is expecting me to talk about that yacht deal. Company's rolling out some luxury cruise packages. So casual like last night was ancient history. Classic Lionel. Let me marinate in my feelings overnight, then act like nothing happened. The pain made me grip his hand, but he kept texting with the other, completely ignoring me. Amari's voice shrieked from outside. Lionel, Mama's here. Move your ass. Lionel immediately shook me off, dropped his phone, and bolted for the door. I crumpled to the floor, accidentally knocking his phone over. The screen lit up with a group chat pinned at the top. Princess Amari and her knights. I clicked without thinking. My stomach dropped. Kendall's such a psycho. Told you she was wrong for you from the start. Having some outsider killer vibe every time is so fucking annoying. You should have just married Amari. Amari dropped a tongue-out emoji. Ew, it's my birthday. Why mention that killjoy? Lionel's buying me a yacht as my present. Princess needs her ocean views. Lionel replied instantly. Bow down to daddy and my life is yours. Amari shot back a bowing emoji. Perfect. Your life belongs to me now. I command you, no wives allowed today. Bro, Amari packed that barely their string bikini. Who's really the birthday gift here? It was like ice water dumped over my head. I couldn't breathe from the shock. Of course, people can fake it, but your circle shows who you really are. When I first tried fitting in, everyone seemed sweet as angels. But I mistook politeness for acceptance. They were already an unbreakable fortress, and I was always going to be the outsider trying to get in. The cramps got worse. My hands shook as I screenshot everything. When Lionel came back for his phone, I was curled up on the couch in agony. He didn't even glance at me, already heading for the door. Babe, the crew wants to hit the yacht too. You're too pregnant to keep up anyway, so just skip it. Pale as death, I grab his shirt. My stomach's killing me. Can you take me to the hospital? I already knew the answer, but I still wanted to give him one last chance. If he left, I was done with him too. While we stood there, Amari whined from outside. Hurry up, it's hot out here. Lionel yanked his shirt from my grip, fed up. Stop faking. You were fine 5 minutes ago. I'm sick of you using the baby to manipulate me. He shoved me back onto the couch, so hard my heart broke. Amari bounced in and grabbed Lionel's ear. Are you insane? Why are you being such a dick? Pregnant chicks are all like this, they want everyone fussing over them. So, what if she's being dramatic? Lionel snorted, dripping with contempt. If she had half your chill, I wouldn't be losing my mind. His eyes dropped to Amari's bikini strap and he casually reached over to adjust it. Dummy, can't you see it's loose? Amari swept her hair to one side, giggling. Easy, you're squeezing my boobs. Lionel pressed his palm against the spot, grinning like an ass. What boobs? You're flat as a board anyway. They disappeared around the corner, laughing. I dialed Casey immediately. I'm coming to find you at the yacht. Okay, came the reply. Lionel had no idea Casey Wells was my childhood best friend. 20+ years of honest friendship. I knew what real platonic looked like better than anyone. Lionel and I had been together 6 years, from high school sweethearts to marriage. I needed to see with my own eyes just how rotten this relationship had become. The ocean breeze was sharp and salty. On the luxury yacht's deck, screaming and laughter mixed together. I stood by the railing in sunglasses and a face mask, watching. Amari in her string bikini pressed tight against Lionel in just swim trunks. That stupid mouth-to-mouth tissue game. Amari deliberately bit the tissue down to a tiny scrap. Lionel kept leaning in, trying to grab it with his mouth. Leo loses. Time for punishment, someone shouted. Make him confess to someone? How about Amari? Amari collapsed dramatically across Lionel's lap, playfully hitting his chest. Oh my god, I'm dying of embarrassment. Another voice shouted. They're already this close. Confessions are boring. Amari, tell us exactly what happened that night. Give us the dirty details. Everyone was cracking up when Amari suddenly grabbed his crotch. Just like this. Got your nuts. Lionel blocked her hand, laughing. You little shit. In the chaos, he accidentally caught her bikini string and pulled. The tie came undone instantly. Amari shrieked. Lionel reflexively pulled her against his chest, yelling at everyone, "Turn around." Nobody fucking look. The waves kept rolling. He gently retied her strings, fingertips trailing across her bare back. Their eyes locked, sparks flying. In that moment, I watched the husband who once adored me transform into a complete stranger while I crouched in the shadows like a cockroach, watching someone else's happiness, pathetically watching the father of my child with another woman. Casey beside me started to rush forward, but I held him back. After a long pause, I dialed Lionel's number. From my distance, I watched his phone light up. He glanced at it. The ringtone played once, then again. He just stared at it. Never answered. Amari saw, "Wifey," on the caller ID and pouted. "You promised today was all about me. No distractions, not even her, or I'm never speaking to you again." Lionel chuckled and tossed his phone into a cup full of beer, raising an eyebrow. "Happy now, princess?" When Amari finally nodded, Lionel swept her up and spun her around overhead. Her delighted screams carried on the ocean breeze. By the time I lowered my phone from recording, tears had soaked through my mask. "Fuck you, Lionel Hartman. So this is all I ever meant to you? Hope you're ready to burn in hell." Eventually, they got tired and sat around talking. Amari's voice drifted over the wind. "Actually, on Leo's wedding night, I got wasted and said I wanted to marry some random guy just to get it over with. He freaked out, grabbed Kendall's wedding dress, and came to find me. Isn't that crazy? We played house like when we were kids, exchanging vows under the stars." My heart seized. I remembered that custom wedding dress I'd searched forever to find. Lionel said it got stained and lost at the dry cleaners. Amari kept going with a laugh. I joked that since we'd exchanged vows, it was real. Said I'd never get married, but I wanted kids without ruining my body. Guess what this idiot did? Lionel kept drinking and smiling, not stopping her. The crowd egged Amari on until she raised her chin proudly. He actually took it seriously. Dragged me to get IVF done. She winked at Lionel to take over. "So, Leo, what happened to that baby?" Lionel drained his drink, eyes dark and distant. "The baby in Kendall's belly right now? That's mine, and Amari's IVF baby."
Boom.
Something exploded in my skull. Everything went white. Casey was cursing beside me while Lionel looked completely unbothered. I clutched my stomach. Like it could sense my agony, the baby started kicking frantically. All I felt was bitter irony. From the moment we started trying, Lionel told me his sperm count was low and IVF would give us better odds. Countless days and nights, I took pills until I was nauseous, my belly covered in purple needle marks. The day it took, he pressed his face to my stomach and whispered, "Hey baby, Daddy's gonna make sure you and Mommy are the happiest people in the world." Turns out he was never talking to me. Amari's voice floated over again, dripping with smugness. Good thing Leo was smart about it. Look at Kendall now, bloated and gross from pregnancy. I'd rather die than let my body get wrecked like that. I couldn't listen anymore. Started to leave. Suddenly a massive wave hit, rocking the yacht violently. Amari had been standing at the edge, too caught up in her story. She screamed as she was thrown overboard. Lionel didn't hesitate for a second, grabbed a life ring and dove in, swimming hard toward her. I was completely frozen. He was a total sinker, couldn't even swim. He'd literally said water was his biggest fear. Now he would risk his life for her. I turned away, unable to watch that hero saves the damsel bullshit, and headed straight to the hospital for the abortion. As the anesthesia kicked in and consciousness faded, I had one last thought. Lionel Hartman, you can fuck right off and die. I woke up to find only Casey there, eyes red-rimmed, sitting by my bed. I instinctively touched my belly, completely flat. A relief I hadn't felt in months. I turned my head, voice hoarse. "Where's Lionel?" Casey looked away and handed me his phone with a video playing. Shaky footage. On the beach, Amari crying as she gave Lionel mouth to mouth. When Lionel coughed awake, she immediately threw her arms around him and wouldn't let go. "Lionel, I can't lie to myself anymore. I love you. You stupid, stupid man. I love you." Surrounded by cheers, they kissed passionately, both soaking wet. The mermaids saved her prince. Their love was true and eternal. Only I was the pathetic, laughable bubble. The bubble burst in the sunlight, turning to tears sliding down my face. The second video showed Lionel carrying Amari bridal style into a hotel. At the same time, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Babe, drop my phone in the water. Borrowing a friend's to text you. Still dealing with stuff here. Won't make it home tonight. Sweet dreams to you and the baby. I stared at that message for the longest time, then slowly sat up. Casey, I need you to put the fetus in a cooler. And hire a brass band, the kind with gossipy middle-aged women who talk loud. What are you planning? Casey looked confused. I spoke each word clearly. Taking this gift to their hotel, of course. Gonna help my husband make it official with his mistress. Once the brass band was in position, I started a live stream, looking distressed. Hey everyone, your girl's got a real problem. My husband swears he and his female are just friends, but I'm not so sure. The comments immediately started trolling. Drama queen much? Men and women can totally be just friends da. This chick's obviously paranoid. I quickly shook my head. No, I'm not paranoid at all. After that fight with hubby's bestie, I've done some soul-searching. I paused, watching the viewer count skyrocket. If they're really together, I won't be petty about it. I'll personally help my husband upgrade his side chick to main chick status. The comments exploded with both insults and sympathy. Using some online tutorial to get a keycard, I led the brass band toward their room. I threw open the door. Total chaos inside, 2 half-naked bodies tangled up, going at it hot and heavy. I gasped dramatically.
Wow.
Nice boobs. Great dick. How's that for buddies? The horns blared as the middle-aged ladies made their grand entrance. Everyone held up a banner, forming a human wall. The banner blazed in bright red letters. The Morgan family daughter loves my husband dearly. A.S. his wife. I've come to bless their relationship. The 2 people trapped inside were half-naked and panicking. The live stream completely lost its shit. Am I hallucinating from staying up too late? What kind of soap opera is this? Don't just stand there. Screenshot this. Get these cheating assholes on camera. That bare ass. My eyes. My poor fucking eyes. Lionel had never looked so humiliated. He yanked the sheet around Amari while frantically trying to get dressed. Looking at him in all his pathetic glory, I remembered those first few years we were together. How he'd drive across town and wait in line for 4 hours just to get me the cronets I was obsessed with. How he'd patiently dry the bathroom floor after my showers so I wouldn't slip. How he'd stay by my bedside all night when I had a high fever, wiping me down with cool towels over and over. And this same man had already been cheating with another woman on our wedding night. His love had an on-off switch. What a gift. I was getting jealous now. Lionel, is it really that hard to love just one person? Before I even finished asking, I started laughing. He stumbled forward, fully dressed now, looking absolutely livid. Kendall, what the hell is this circus supposed to accomplish? Aren't you embarrassed? A crowd of rubberneckers had gathered, packing the hallway. I smiled and spread my hands wide. Embarrassed? I'm helping my husband make it official with his girlfriend. This is cause for celebration. The crowd erupted, voices drowning him out. Shameless. Caught with his pants down, and he's got the nerve to blame her. Some people have no shame. Amari finished getting dressed under the sheet, then kicked it off and threw herself into Lionel's arms, sobbing. What did I do wrong? Why are they treating me like this? I actually laughed out loud. If she wanted to be shameless, I'd make sure she had nothing left to be ashamed of. I held up my phone, turning to the crowd. I showed everyone their chat logs and the explicit yacht videos, giving them the full 360-degree experience. You decide if she did anything wrong, everybody. She just talked shit behind my back, convinced my husband to buy her a yacht, and threw herself at him in a string bikini. Really, it's nothing. Totally innocent. I cupped my hand to my ear and leaned toward her. Come on. Tell everyone how you confessed to Lionel. Give us an encore. Amari's face flushed red as she screamed desperately. I told him I loved him, and I do love him. Love isn't a crime. Love. I slapped her hard across the face. If love means staying quiet when you're both single, then swooping in to cause drama after he gets married, then your love is nothing but cheap, dirty trash. She thought being a homewrecker made her special. All she was doing was trampling on other people's hearts to boost her own pathetic ego. Pathetic.
Sad.
Absolutely ridiculous. Amari's face was streaked with tears as she twisted in Lionel's arms, her voice whiny and clingy. Leo, if loving you is wrong, I'd rather be wrong forever. But today it's either her or me. You have to choose. Honestly, she was good at playing the victim. So naturally, Lionel turned on me. Kendall, haven't you caused enough drama? The vein in his forehead was throbbing. I knew that meant he'd hit his limit. Go home.
Give me some time.
I'll figure this out.
See?
His choice was always crystal clear. Amari Morgan, not Kendall Pierce. That familiar wave of heartbreak crashed over me, but somehow I felt relieved. Like a weight had finally lifted. Yeah, when didn't it go like this? The second Amari started crying, he'd turn into a rabid dog and tear into me. You're being completely unreasonable. My patience has limits. Right back at you. I looked him straight in the eye, my heart finally dying completely. I turned to look at Amari, who was trying to hide her smugness, and started clapping for her. Congratulations. The little mermaid finally made it to shore and gets to live happily ever after with her prince. But guess what? What do you think this fairy tale's real ending is gonna be? Once upon a time, wasn't I a little mermaid too? For love, I cut off my own tail and walked into the graveyard called marriage. I traded my voice away and lost the right to explain what love meant. Every step felt like walking on knives, watching helplessly as the man I loved tangled himself up with someone else. But I'm done. I'm so fucking done. I pulled out the divorce papers I'd prepared and slammed them in Lionel's face. Lionel, let's get divorced. He fumbled to catch them, and his pupils shrank when he saw what was inside. Divorce? You want to leave me with nothing? We'd made a pact once. No matter how bad our fights got, neither of us would ever mention divorce. He knew I was serious. Stumbling, he tried to grab my hands, panic in his voice. Kendall, I was just freaking out before. It's my fault. Let me explain, okay? Don't do this. Please. His expression softened, but then his eyes swept over my stomach and he froze, finally noticing it was completely flat. Where's the baby? He grabbed my shoulders so hard it hurt. I'm asking you, where is my child? I let him shake me, a cold smile slowly spreading across my face. Casey, bring it in. I took a cooler from Casey's hands and casually tossed it on the floor. Take a look. This is my wedding gift to Amari from you. The cooler opened. Lionel took one look and collapsed. He seemed to lose it, asking over and over.
Why? Why?
Why? I stared down at him emotionlessly, my heart completely dead. When you jumped in the ocean to save Amari, our baby. No, I corrected myself with a bitter laugh. Your and Amari's baby was already gone. Lionel's head snapped up, eyes wide with horror. You know everything. He tried to lunge at me. Casey had finally had enough and kicked him hard in the chest. You son of a bitch. Lionel crashed backward, his head slamming against the floor. I towered over him, every word cutting deep. Lionel, remember when your company was about to go bankrupt? My parents swallowed their pride and borrowed money from every friend and relative to bail you out. Later, when my dad was dying and needed money for a kidney transplant, you were traveling for work and wouldn't even answer your phone. How fucking ironic that I only found out today, the day my father died because we couldn't afford the surgery. You were out buying Amari a house, dropping 10 million. Hot tears poured down my face, my hands shaking as I spoke. I was such an idiot, working my ass off for this family, giving everything for your career. I got you success, while I lost everything. My hand came down hard across Lionel's face. Leaving with nothing is the last bit of dignity I'm giving you. Every word hit where it hurt most. He hung his head, expression unreadable. But Amari flew into a rage, pointing at Casey and me and shrieking. Talk is cheap. I bet you and this homewrecker have been screwing around behind Leo's back. You just want to dump him and run off together, you fucking... Before bitch could leave her mouth, I grabbed a trumpet from one of the musicians and smacked her over the head with it. Is it your turn to talk? You've got some fucking nerve. Amari burst into tears with a loud wah. Lionel pulled her behind him, his eyes darting menacingly between Casey and me. You're in quite the hurry. Hit a nerve, did she? Suddenly, a young woman emerged from the crowd of musicians, beating me to the punch. I don't know if she's in a hurry, but I definitely saw you lashing out like a cornered dog. The girl walked over to Casey and linked arms with him. I'm Casey's girlfriend, surprise. I even sponsored that banner. You two pieces of trash have no right to slander Casey and Kendall's friendship. Lionel finally completely panicked. Kendall, I was wrong. I slapped him across the face. Get lost. Amari shrieked and lunged at me, trying to bite. I backhanded her too. You get lost too. Before leaving, I pointed right at Lionel's nose. Remember what I said, leaving with nothing is the last dignity you'll get. Amari clutched her swollen cheek, glaring daggers at me. In your dreams. If anyone's leaving, it's you. The middle-aged women who'd been silent exchanged glances. We beating them up? If you're jumping in, I'm jumping in. The chaos and screaming faded behind me as I walked away. The whole ride home, I felt numb, like a soulless shell. My heart had died, but somehow that made the rest of me feel lighter. All those memories that used to hurt just thinking about them couldn't even stir up a ripple in my chest anymore. What a bitch. What if Lionel drags his feet on the divorce? That'll be a nightmare. Casey was grinding his teeth in anger. He won't. He's a smart man who cares about his reputation. I managed a slight smile. I have a way to make him come crawling, begging me for that divorce. Last night's live stream had gone absolutely viral online. After the nth relative chased him down with their concern about Lionel, he decided to get ahead of it and defend himself in the family group chat. But his message showed he'd been removed from the group. Removed by Dad. Furious, he texted his father. Taking her side now. His dad replied with just 2 words. Who's this? Lionel's face went dark. If Mom finds out how you're acting, she'll divorce you. Red exclamation mark. Message failed to send. Breathing heavily, he texted his mother to complain. Her reply was a formal letter cutting all family ties. His face twisted with rage, but then he saw his mom's new social media post. In the photo, she was hugging me tight, smiling warmly. The caption read, "Damn it. The nurses must have mixed up the babies. I raised a piece of shit instead of my real daughter." Lionel nearly threw his phone. His mother had been sick for 3 years, and I was the one who stayed by her bedside day and night, caring for her until she recovered. His dad got in that fight, and I was the one who jumped in and took that life-threatening blow for him.
But why?
Why was the whole family acting like they'd been brainwashed, all siding with the woman who wanted to divorce him? After being humiliated in front of the family, he was stuck in his office, furious and breaking things. That's exactly where I found him, showing up with the divorce papers and stock transfer agreements. Sign them all. Lionel stubbornly turned away, refusing to even look. I yanked him right out of the CEO chair. He was livid. How dare you? I settled into the CEO chair with a smile. You've been fired by the board of directors. On? Haha, what grounds? I slammed another document in front of him. Did you really think I couldn't track down all the company funds you've been embezzling over the years to buy Amari houses, luxury cars, and designer goods? Look here, every single transaction, crystal clear. Sign the papers or go to prison. Your choice. Lionel's hands shook as he flipped through the evidence, his shoulders completely collapsing. He signed, but the embezzlement hole still needed to be filled by him. His parents had already blocked him everywhere. With nowhere else to turn, his only hope was those so-called good buddies of his. He'd always been incredibly generous with his crew. Whenever someone was in trouble, he'd drop tens or hundreds of thousands without blinking. Getting just that money back would be enough. Full of hope, he dialed the first number. Brian, man, I need to ask you something. Can you pay me back that $100,000? I really need it right now. The other end sounded like a party, loud and chaotic, and Brian's voice was clearly annoyed. Leo, you kidding me? I used that money to buy a car ages ago. Where am I going to get money to pay you back? Lionel forced a laugh. Just sell the car then, help me out here. Brian instantly flipped. That's my car. Why the hell should I sell it? You're so fucking selfish. But I lent you the money to buy it. Did I beg you for it? Don't think I don't know. You just loved showing off in front of us. Acting like you were hot shit. Really thought you were the king? Fuck off. He hung up hard. Lionel's whole crew seemed to side with Brian. After that, none of his calls went through. How pathetic. Turns out all those ride-or-die buddies had been thinking the same about him behind his back. He'd become a complete joke. With nowhere else to go, he headed to the mansion he'd bought Amari. Seeing him return, Amari excitedly showed off the wedding dress she'd just bought. Isn't it gorgeous? Handmade by a French designer. $5 million. She spun around in the dress, then grabbed Lionel's arm excitedly. My knight, when are we meeting your parents? We should set the wedding date too. Lionel's eyes were clouded with darkness as he stammered. Babe, could you return this dress? Confusion flashed across Amari's face, followed by even bigger excitement.
What?
You think this one's too cheap? Want to buy me something more expensive? Lionel collapsed onto the couch, and after a long pause, finally looked up. Kendall caught me embezzling company funds for your shopping. She's threatening to leave me with nothing. I had no choice. I don't want to go to prison. Seeing Amari's expression change instantly, he rushed to comfort her. Baby, $100 dress from Amazon can be beautiful too. You look gorgeous in anything. Right now, the most important thing is selling the house and car and all those designer bags and luxury stuff to raise money and help me get through this. He tried to reach for Amari, but she backed away in horror, clutching the wedding dress tight. Your prison time has nothing to do with me. This stuff is mine. Nobody's taking it. Lionel was completely stunned. But that money, I spent it all on you. When we get married, we'll be husband and wife. Amari sneered.
What?
You think I spread my legs for you all these years for charity? If I didn't see you make a comeback, you think I'd give you the time of day? You're nothing but a beggar now. You're not even worthy of licking my feet. What makes you think I'd marry you? As Lionel tried to say more, Amari grabbed a vase and smashed it over his head. Get out. Get out of my house right now. The vase shattered with a crash. Water, mixed with blood, ran down Lionel's forehead. Amari didn't even wait for him to recover. She kicked him and shoved him out the door. Lionel stumbled through downtown like a zombie. On the sidewalk, kids were running around their parents, laughing and playing. Nearby, a new mom was holding her baby while chatting and laughing with the dad. They passed right by him, and he whipped around to stare at the family until they were gone. Once upon a time, we dreamed of scenes like that, him holding our baby, me holding on to him. If he hadn't been screwing around with Amari, if he'd just been a decent husband to me, would he be the one with that happiness now? Once the thought hit, crushing regret slammed into him, leaving him gasping and shattered. A week later, I never expected to run into Lionel on the street. The man who'd always been obsessed with his image now had greasy hair and hollow eyes, staring blankly at something in the boutique window. I followed his gaze. Inside a luxury watch boutique, Amari, who'd been ghost for weeks, had her arms wrapped around some stranger, carefully picking out watches. She was spending his money, ignoring his desperation, while keeping another man. Amari. Lionel shoved past the doorman and burst inside. Amari jumped back, startled. What the hell are you doing? Lionel was livid. Amari blinked, then covered her nose when she saw it was him. Buying my good buddy a watch. Years of lies hit him like a bullet to the brain. Regret, rage, madness. Everything exploded in his chest. He grabbed a crystal vase from the display and brought it down hard on Amari's head. The crowd screamed and scattered. Amari hit the floor, but he climbed on top of her like a psycho, smashing again and again. By the time the cops showed up, Amari was a bloody mess and completely still. Lionel had totally lost it. The police dragged him past me as they hauled him away. His face suddenly brightened. Honey, did you come to take me home? Baby, I love you so much. Wait for me to get some cronets for you. Wait for me. I wouldn't wait for him. I'd never wait for him again. Due to his mental breakdown, Lionel was locked up in a psych ward for life. But the living still owed their debts. The divorce settlement said all the money Lionel had lent out now belonged to me. Professional debt collectors beat those so-called brothers until they were bloody messes, sobbing to pay up. The crying and begging echoed behind me as I walked toward the exit. Nothing but blue skies ahead. My future was waiting.